38-year-old woman was arrested this week on suspicion of murder in connection with the death of her 70-year-old father, Joseph Pamula, who was killed at their home in Woonsocket, Rhode Island in January. Danielle Pamula was arrested on Friday the 31st of March for domestic violence murder. Her twin sister Jennifer Pamula was taken into custody on the 30th of January on the same charge. Danielle said that on the 30th of January, she went upstairs to take a nap, while her twin sister Jennifer was fighting with Joseph over selling the house and getting rid of a dozen cats. When she woke up, Danielle told police she found her deceased father laying on the kitchen floor with a large pair of garden shears sticking over his neck, and Jennifer unresponsive with pills next to her. She then called for help. Officers arriving at the home at 241 Cato Street found Jennifer on the living room floor covered in blood. When one of the officers asked Jennifer if she was okay, she uttered, "I had to do it." She was then charged with first-degree domestic murder. Investigators said that Danielle started telling people that she was involved in her father's death. When confronted about matching injuries on her hand as well as her twin sister's hand, she admitted to police that they had both taken part in killing their father. Danielle and Jennifer are both held without bond. 37-year-old Jason Proctor is behind bars after an elderly relative was found wearing nothing but an adult diaper crying out for help. On Friday the 24th of March, authorities responded to a home in the 500 block of South St. Andrews Street in Dothan, Alabama to complete a welfare check. When officers arrived at the residence, they found a woman crawling around inside. She had open wounds and various other medical conditions that had gone untreated and were neglected. The elderly female victim was transported to hospital for treatment for injuries, as well as possibly needing to undergo surgery for some of her open wounds. A relative of the victim, Jason Proctor, was identified as the primary caregiver. He was arrested and charged with 1 count of elder abuse and neglect. He's held at the Houston County Jail without bond. Police did not disclose the victim's name or age. On Friday the 31st of March, 16-year-old Anthony Hutchin was sentenced to 64 years behind bars for the molestation and murder of 6-year-old Grace Ross in New Carlisle, Indiana in 2021. He was found guilty of the charges on the 26th of January. Since he's only 16 years old, he'll remain in a juvenile detention facility until he at least turns 18. Following this time, he'll have a hearing to determine whether he remains at the juvenile facility until his 21st birthday, be sent to an adult facility, be placed in community corrections, or be discharged from the sentence altogether. Anthony has a jail credit of 748 days, and he'll be required to register as a sex offender when he's released from prison. At around 6:30 p.m. on the 12th of March 2021, Grace's family reported her missing. Later that night at 8:25 p.m, her body was found near her home in a wooded area behind the Prairie Ridge Apartments complex in New Carlisle, Indiana. The St. Joseph County Metro Homicide Unit arrived at the scene and began investigating. An autopsy revealed Grace had blunt force trauma to her pelvic area and that she died from asphyxiation, and her death was ruled a homicide. Anthony, who was 14 years at the time, was identified as a suspect and he was arrested. DNA collected from the crime scene and a videotape statement from Anthony was used as evidence to convict him. In response to the sentencing decision, Grace's mother Michelle Ross posted on the Facebook page "Justice for Grace Ross. I'm sorry, baby girl. You deserved better." The body of a 2-year-old Florida boy who was reported missing was found in the jaws of an alligator on Friday, a day after his mother's murder. 21-year-old Thomas Mosley has been charged with 2 counts of murder for the death of his son Taylor Mosley and for the stabbing death of the boy's mother, 20-year-old Pashan Jeffrey. Authorities in St. Petersburg, Florida were investigating the area of Dale Holmes Park when they spotted an alligator with an object in its mouth inside Lake Maggiore. Officers shot the alligator, killing it, forcing it to drop the child's body. Taylor's body was retrieved intact, though police have not said how the boy died or if he was dead before he ended up in the lake. "We're sorry that it had to end this way," Police Chief Anthony Holloway said. Police have been searching for Taylor since 2:30 p.m. on Thursday, and they found Pashan dead from multiple stab wounds inside her apartment. Thomas was immediately named as a person of interest after he checked himself into a local hospital without his son, and with cuts to his hands and his arms, and he refused to talk to investigators. Pashan and her son were last seen by family members at around 5:20 p.m. on Wednesday the 29th of March. Police have said that at around 8:30 p.m, neighbours heard a loud commotion around their apartment, but police were not notified. The next day, Pashan's mother contacted the apartment complex property manager After not hearing from her daughter, that's when they found her dead in what Anthony described as a very violent crime scene, in which Parsham had been stabbed multiple times. Family members said that Basham and Talon had moved into the apartment complex about a month ago. Thomas went to his mother's house at around 9 p.m. on Wednesday with cuts to his arms and hands, and then admitted himself to a local hospital, where he remained until Friday night. Thomas is held at the Pinellas County Jail without bond.